Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Assalamu alaikum, dear viewers, and welcome to Women's View on Ahlulbayt TV, a show discussing Islam through the voice of women. Now today, as you can see, our show is dedicated to the hijab awareness, which we have launched, the global hijab awareness, which we have launched recently. So this show is in dedication to that project. So before I go to our main show today, I would like to speak to the audience through some reports that we have been getting regarding the condition in Bahrain. Speaking to some people in Bahrain at the moment, the conditions there have just been worse. And as you all know, the Saudi troops and the troops from the countries surrounding Bahrain have sent in their troops and police to attack the peaceful protesters. Now, reports we've been getting is that people have been shot at. There's live bullets and live rounds being shot. And many people are injured and many people have died. And these pictures are posted on the internet. So the conditions there have really gone worse. And I just want to spread the awareness because people there have told us, please spread the awareness and spread the word out. So telling the audience at home, please remember the people of Bahrain in your du'as and all the oppressed people around the world, but in particular to what's going on at the moment. Just before we start our show today, I would like to show you a quick video of what took place the day before yesterday, the 13th of March, when the violence began once again. So this is footage of what happened on the 13th of March, which is the day before yesterday. And of course, the violence today have just escalated and has gone even worse, and it's gone to different levels. But inshallah, watch this quick video of what happened on the 13th of March. I do advise those that are weak-hearted to please not watch the video. But for all the audience at home, here's a quick video.
Wide-ranging clampdown appears directed toward Bahrain's Shiite majority. The move reflects the Sunni rulers' increase.
We are calling for help for all the countries in the world. We call for help here in Bahrain. We cannot tolerate this. We cannot bear this. The hospital is full of casualties. All the medical staff are running.
Assalamu alaikum, welcome back. I do apologize, it seems as if the video is not playing and there's a few time break codes in the video. So for those who are wondering what's going on in Bahrain and would like to watch the video, then I would just like to let you know that this video is uploaded on our YouTube page. You can check it out by going to www.youtube.com/ahlulbayt.tv. It's also posted on our Facebook group. So whoever wants videos or more information as to what's happening in Bahrain, then please do email us. Email the show's email, womensview@ahlulbayt.tv, or hijab awareness @ahlulbayt.tv, or even info@ahlulbayt.tv. Inshallah, we'll send all the information regarding that. But just for the audience at home, please do pray. And as we speak right now, we've been speaking to witnesses in Bahrain just before I came on the show, and as we speak right now, they're shooting at protesters and they've entered villages and people's homes and private towns where families are living. So people are just trying to protect their families, their loved ones, their homes, and they are being shot at. So inshallah, more news will be broadcasted soon on Ahlulbayt TV. Now going to our show today, which is on a completely different topic, but nevertheless as important. We're speaking on the topic of hijab within universities. As we're living in the West, we face a lot of problems within hijab, and many people during that time, that stage of their life, university, early stages of work, they go through some difficulties regarding hijab. So inshallah, we'll be discussing all the issues regarding that. We have your comments posted on Facebook right here, so we're going to be reading them out as well, inshallah. And if you want to call in, the number should be on the screen, so you can call us live with any comments or questions you may have to our guest speaker. Otherwise, you can email us at hijab@ahlulbayt.tv. I'll read out your email in today's show. So I'm your host, Zahra Al Alawi, and today with me is Salma Jaffer. Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum salam.
Welcome back to the show.
Thank you.
And I do apologize for taking a few minutes before the show just to portray to the audience what's happening. So thank you for being patient. Now, going to the whole topic of hijab, and as people have probably seen on our website, www.ahlulbayt.tv/hijab, we've been getting a lot of stories in, and many of which find it difficult during that time period to go to wear the hijab, and they face problems and obstacles then. So what are some of the difficulties faced regarding hijab and university?
Well, every woman who come to observe hijab at university, they automatically are seen as oppressed. And that is actually the biggest dilemma at the moment. However, some, not all of them, but some do go through physical and mental harassment only because they're observing hijab. It doesn't necessarily have to be out in the public, but many times it's always in the inside, but no one's aware of that. You know, only those who are going through it would be the ones aware. The social pressures, obviously, this comes from people who are trying to sort of impose peer pressure on you.
Yeah.
So you would do anything in order to fit in with everyone because you don't want to be sort of put aside and feel odd. These are the biggest problems in regards to Muslim women who observe hijab at university.
Definitely true, yeah. I've seen a lot of these situations taking place, and a lot of people do face those obstacles. But why do you think, because many people during that stage, like through reading people's emails and the audience's emails and their views and their stories, we've seen that a lot of people do compromise their hijab during university and during the early stages of work, and during that time frame they compromise the hijab to try to fit in, let's say. But why do people on a wider scale compromise their hijab?
If you think about it, many Muslim women in this day and age, just like ourselves, they're into their careers. And, we're here, working at Ahlulbayt TV, and that's allowing us to observe hijab. However, if you go to different work areas, different workplaces, hijab would be an obstacle. And it would sort of, it would put you down. And they would turn you down on interviews only because you're observing hijab. So, and they're not willing to give up their career life. They've probably gone into studying for quite a few years, gone to university, before that college, maybe done extra courses. And if you're told not to, forget your career, just, go into something else, you can't do that because, some people are too much into it. And that's another problem. They're not willing to sort of give up their career, and in order to stick to their career, in order to stick with what they want to do, they give up their hijab and they do what they want to do. Yeah. They fear that they're going to be looked down upon. So every time, I think many actually experience this. We're looked down upon only because we're covering ourselves. People think different of us, and many of us, we do fear of what other people would think about us, and that stops us from covering ourselves. These are the three main reasons I can come up with.
That's definitely true. I mean, regarding the point that you mentioned regarding people saying that they may not get the job if they're covered, or they feel that sort of threat, where do you think they got the impression that if they wear the hijab, they will kind of be attacked or not given the job? Do you think it's the media plays a role, or people's opinions, or people's stories that have been told to them? Why do you think people think that wearing a hijab is a threat? Because I've worked in mainstream media, and I've never really kind of thought of hijab in the sense make it as a barrier towards my career, but many people do. So how do you think that problem came about?
Well, I think it's a bit of everything, really. It's media and it's other things as well. In fact, I was just speaking to an individual, and she was saying to me that when I was working, I was actually told that my hijab's not going to allow me to progress any further. So hearing stories like that, and of course, they wouldn't make such a thing. So it's real life stories that have actually taken place. These are, it's very eye-awakening. It makes you realize, what this world's come to. It's everything, and it's media. Media would be the biggest, organization that's sort of giving wrong ideas about Muslim women who wear hijab. And yeah.
Definitely true. I think we've got our first email come through. It says, Assalamu alaikum, great show, sisters. First of all, thank you for spreading light in Bahrain. It seems as if the news is overshadowed by the other news regarding Japan and other countries. So thank you for spreading that light. Just one question. What advice would you give to someone who is image conscious? I really need your advice as to what to do. What advice would you give me? Thank you very much. Mariam from the UK. First of all, alaikum salam, Mariam, and thank you very much. You know, this news is really saddening news, and it's good to spread light on it, so thank you very much. But regarding her question, I mean, I know a lot of girls who have said the same, so her question and email is not really any surprise. That many people think that, you know, they get very image conscious, and they think that the hijab will be sort of seen as outdated, or they'll be seen as, you know, alienated from society because they want to fit in, right? And there's like plenty of fashion magazines which really doesn't you know, confide by the criteria of hijab. So what advice would you give to those who are very image conscious?
Well, I mean, hijab is covering yourself, you know, and it's covering your inner beauty. Now, those who are, you know, image concerned, I think they will probably have an idea, or they probably know exactly that they're quite, you know, they've got some kind of a nice image, you know, but why would you want to show that out to the public? Why not keep your image to yourself and, you know, protect yourself? The whole hijab is to protect yourself. It's like an outer shell which is protecting the inner beauty. So, you know, you should be image concerned, but then you should be image concerned in a positive way rather than a negative way. So you should be concerned in such a way that, you know, how should I protect myself, and, you know, not how you should sort of expose yourself, rather.
That's definitely true. I mean, like, I would like to say something for the sister, and there's many points as people who are image conscious. I know that when I go to some events, that's like probably the first question that people ask about being image conscious. But 2 points in regards to the sister. First of all, that I'm sure that you would agree with me that when you meet someone, it's not their looks, their outer appearance, which really drags you to them. Maybe at first point, but then afterwards it's the inner beauty. And I guarantee you this, and through experience and other people's experience, that even those that probably try their best to look good in public, soon after that people get used to their looks, then their true character comes out, and people just begin to, you know, turn a blind eye at them. They get harassed, they get treated in a negative way. So I think that's number one, that image, like your outer image doesn't really matter, and people, even if they get attracted to you at first glance, soon later it will disappear. And the second thing is that I wanted to say is that hijab can be presentable, right? You can look kind of presentable, or not outdated in a sense. You can kind of fit in with society, but not compromise your hijab. So I think that's what many people who are against hijab don't understand, that we can actually look presentable and take care of yourself, because in Islam it says that you should care for yourself and your appearance, and you should be, you know, cleanness and everything's really important.
It's very true, actually, and plus there isn't just one way of observing or wearing hijab. You know, there are plenty of different ways. So everyone's different, you know, everyone could find their own unique way of wearing hijab. So you feel comfortable with at least what you're dressed up with, and you know, how you're going to be exposed to others. So yeah, I mean, you know, you can't, I mean, everyone's different, everyone's got their own way, but then the right way. You know, cover yourself nicely, but then in however way you want.
Definitely true. Now going to university, I mean, during that time period, there's a lot of interaction going on, and many people communicate with the opposite gender. But many people ask, this is in terms of social hijab, not the physical, well, but physical and social. But many people ask, you know, what boundaries do we have to draw in terms of communicating with the opposite gender? I mean, where do we draw on the line? Because many projects do require us to communicate with the opposite gender, but where do we draw the line?
Communication with opposite gender is allowed in Islam, but then how you communicate with them is another question. You know, if you're at college or university, you're always going to be put into groups, because there's going to be team projects, you know, and when you go at work, you're not going to be the only one there, and plenty other women, there will be men around as well. So you have to work with men. But then, this is a formal way of communicating, being serious and getting the work done, getting your projects done, working together seriously. However, if you go into informal communication, that's something that you're sort of leading yourself towards the wrong direction. Such as joking and spending a lot of time with each other, regardless work or anything important. But it's like, spending a lot of time laughing and basically, showing your loudest of the voices. That's not allowed. You just have to try and make sure that every time you're with an opposite gender, you're sort of trying to get things done rather than, passing time.
That's true, yeah.
With the good intentions, of course, not the wrong intentions.
Yeah, I mean, that's definitely true. I mean, people think, at the same time, I think people think about the physical so many times at university that they begin to forget about the social aspects as well, when even in terms of communication. We just got another email come through, so let me read that out. Assalamu alaikum, sisters. Wa alaikum assalam. Thank you for this wonderful show. Many people do find problems when going to university and college. I know many sisters who take off their hijab and cannot tell their parents. What advice would you give them? How can I advise them? I mean, that's a very, difficult show. Many people, difficult question. And many people have asked the same thing. Would you like to speak about that?
So, it depends. Do they take off their hijab and then go home putting their hijab on, or do they take it off?
Well, I'm assuming, because she said they take off the hijab and cannot tell their parents. So I'm assuming, and to be honest, we have got a few emails come through about people saying that they know sisters, or even sisters themselves have said that they kind of take off the hijab when they go to college and then go back home. I mean, this is a common problem, but what advice would you give them?
The only advice I should give, we should give them is basically they need to be aware of what hijab is. Again, this is the basic fundamentals of hijab. Once you know the whole reason of why we observe hijab and the significance of it, then you wouldn't do such a thing. But I guess this is, more of a social pressure again, going to the previous thing that we said, and the peer pressure. You just you want to do whatever you can to try and fit in. But then, there should be an end to that one day. And this is only when they realize what the whole concept of hijab is.
I mean, a lot of sisters, first of all, thank you for the sister for emailing in, and it seems like she said, what advice can I advise my friend as well? So it's very good to see that sisters are actually concerned and trying to help other people as well. But I think sisters in that kind of position, I really want to speak about this more because I think it's a really important issue. I think that many people in that position, they're very vulnerable in a sense because they can't speak to their parents, so any form of advice, or obviously they can't speak to their parents, which means that they're not telling their parents. So any form of advice they may rebel against it. I really want to speak more about this issue as well because I think it's really important. But we have a call on the line, so inshallah we'll take that call and then we'll come back and discuss the sister's email. Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum assalam.
Wa alaikum assalam, sister.
Hi, I'm just calling regarding your subject about hijab at university. I just wanted to make a comment. It's not a question, really. What it was actually is that I myself wasn't wearing hijab before I went to uni, but I always wanted to wear it. But I was sort of very shy to wear it because I was really more scared about what people would think about my hijab. To be honest, I didn't wear it when I went to university, and I always regretted it because when I saw the hijabis at uni and how confident they were, and how people didn't really take notice whether they were wearing it or not, and to be honest, I was regretting it, but I was always scared for some reason to wear it. Every year I was thinking I should wear it this year and the other year. But anyway, I didn't wear it until I finished my university, and I was looking for a job. And then I thought, I went to one of the holy cities in Iran, and when I went there, I just changed my mind, came back, and I said, I don't care. I am going to wear my hijab. And it was, to be honest, it was looking for a job, which was the most difficult bit. I think it would have been easier for me to wear it going to university. and then leave rather than now, where I was looking for a new job. And to be honest, I was a bit reluctant to go for interviews, and I was thinking, oh, if they see my hijab, I will be sort of not get the job. But to be honest, it was totally the reverse. My first job interview, I got the job just because they just looked at my experience. And that was it. And from then on, I wanted to just make a comment to anybody who wants to wear a hijab, to not feel scared, to not feel. Don't think about anyone else. Just think about God. You're going to please God. That's it. And once you start wearing it, I can assure you that for some, God will help you. Allah will help you. And now it's like 4 years I'm wearing it, and I've never ever felt so happy and so confident with myself than I ever been before. I just wanted to make that comment and just sort of help other people if they're thinking about wearing hijab, that do not think about the consequences or anything. Just wear it, and I can, promise you that you will never regret it. That's it, Anyway, thank you very much for your show, and just wanted to thank you for that. Thank you.
Thank you so much. God bless you, sister. Thank you very much. First of all, I'd like to thank the sister for calling in. Thank you so much for calling in. And I'm sure that will help many sisters out there, because we've had so many emails of people wanting to wear it, but are really on the fence thinking, shall I not? How would I carry on? What would people think of me? So I think your personal story is absolutely amazing, and thank you very much for sharing it. And I'm sure that will motivate many sisters out there, so thank you very much. And also for viewers at home, I mean, if you'd like to call in to share your story or any opinions or even any questions, then please do call in with the number on the screen. I mean, regarding what the sister said, the caller, I mean, first of all, we thank her for calling in. And many people are really on that fence thinking, shall I not? And I think when you're making a decision, 100 issues come to your head. So first of all, about people thinking of what will people think of me, adding on to the sister said, would you like to add any more comments on?
Well, like you said, many people are on the fence. They only just need a little bit of a push for them to actually fall into the right category. In Islam, every good that you try to do, there's always going to be hardship behind your back. And it's actually a fact that every good and every truth you try and go towards, there will be like millions of excuses for you, which is a shame. But then, like the sister said, this call is actually one that motivates everyone. She's done, the right thing by calling in, and
definitely
it's going to help others, others who are going through what she went through, by choosing whether she should wear it or not. I think she's just sort of given everyone a boost. They should go for it.
Hopefully. I mean, many people do go through that. We all went to universities here I went to university in the UK, and sometimes I even wore this thing. So I'm sure if no one really treated me negatively for wearing this, I'm sure a hijab on a sister's head wouldn't be a problem. But I think you do get that, because once you do something, then because it's something new, you always are conscious of what people think. And I think that's what the first email that we got. The sister said that she's image conscious, which reflects about what people will think of you and stuff like that. So I think once sisters do it and get, like this said, and then you get used to it, then it's just that first step that people need to take, and then inshallah.
That's true. It's just the first step. Also, you don't have to jump into a deep end. You can always start with a little thing, and that little thing you can slowly progress by many other little things, coming to a full thing at the end of the day. So those who are, scared and worried, maybe they should probably start wearing loose clothing first, rather than tight, skinny jeans and tight T-shirts that, And then once they start wearing loose clothing, then they can maybe go into another step, which is to put a scarf on, a hijab. That will be the next step. Once they've done that, then maybe in the future they can think of, putting an abaya on. So it's always a slow step. You can't, if I was an individual who wasn't observing hijab, who wasn't wearing hijab, and there's me thinking whether I should wear it or not, the whole reason I'm thinking that is because it's quite freaky. Truly in life, it would be very scary and freaky. But then you sort of, try a good way. Give yourself a long term, and then each term sort of, go up the step, more like. It's like the example I can give you is like, people who smoke. Tell them to stop smoking, they won't. you know, but then tell them to cut down every month or so and then come to a point where they stop. That's possible, you know, rather than having 20 a day, maybe they could go into having 15, then 10, then 5, 4, whatever, you know, come to a point where they stop. So again, hijab, you know, if you really have the intention of wearing hijab and you really want to, make sure you start from the basic. Understand what it is, you know, get the idea of what it is and why you should, you know, go through the Islamic knowledge and all that history, etc. And then slowly, you know, put yourself into steps. And that will get you where you want to go. You don't think about putting full hijab on yourself. That's not going to happen. That's only going to make you feel like very awkward, and you're going to get the idea that people are going to look at you, stare at you. But if you go through gradually, people won't notice. You know, people will see you wearing loose clothes, but so what? People will one day see you wearing a scarf, but so what? You know, because they don't realize. But like from wearing nothing into wearing something, people will, you know, like, oh my God, what a big difference. No, it doesn't matter what people think, you know, but then you'll be hard for yourself anyway.
Definitely
so that'll be another advice that I could give to sort of gradually get yourself there, rather than jumping a big, you know, a big step.
Definitely true. We're approaching the break now, but just so you know, after the break we've got many of the comments on Facebook and we have many of the emails, and I'd like to discuss the email from the sister regarding those who take off the hijab behind their parents' back and how we can sort of help them, you know, gain the confidence and motivate them to wear the hijab. So inshallah, many more issues being discussed after the break. Please do join us in a few minutes. We're discussing hijab at universities, so join us in a few minutes. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wide-ranging clampdown appears directed toward Bahrain's Shiite majority. The move reflects the Sunni rulers' increase.
We are calling for help for all the countries in the world. We call for help here in Bahrain. We cannot tolerate this. We cannot bear this. The hospital is full of casualties. All the medical staff are running.
Through some reports that we have been getting regarding the condition in Bahrain. Speaking to some people in Bahrain at the moment, the conditions there have just been worse. And as you all know, the Saudi troops and the troops from the countries surrounding Bahrain have sent in their troops and police to attack the peaceful protesters. Now, reports we've been getting is that people have been shot at. There's live bullets and live rounds being shot. And many people are injured and many people have died. And these pictures are posted on the internet. So the conditions there have really gone worse. And I just want to spread the awareness because people there have told us, please spread the awareness and spread the word out. So telling the audience at home, please remember the people of Bahrain in your du'as and all the oppressed people around the world, but in particular to what's going on at the moment. Just before we start our show today, I'd like to show you a quick video of what took place the day before yesterday, the 13th of March, when the violence began once again. So this is footage of what happened on the 13th of March, which is the day before yesterday. And of course, the violence today have just escalated and has gone even worse, and it's gone to different levels. But inshallah, watch this quick video of what happened on the 13th of March. I do advise those that are weak-hearted to please not watch the video. But for all the audience at home, here's a quick video. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Assalamu alaikum, dear viewers, and welcome to Women's View on Ahlulbayt TV, a show discussing Islam through the voice of women. Now today, as you can see, our show is dedicated to the hijab awareness, which we have launched, the global hijab awareness, which we have launched recently. So this show is in dedication to that project. So before I go to our main show today, I would like to speak to the audience